Hi guys, I'm Lori Vitale, and in this episode of Lori in the Kitchen, I want to share with you my recipe for turkey chili. Now this is very similar to my traditional chili, but I figured I'd share it with you anyway because number one, I'm in the mood for it, and number two, this is a much lighter version, but just still giving you really robust flavors that a good chili should have. I just love it. I really love this recipe, and the ingredients for them are some basic and simple ingredients. You'll need to start off with some ground turkey. Now this is ground turkey, not turkey breast. That's a bit too lean for this recipe. You'll also need some bell peppers, onions, jalapeno, and garlic that I've chopped, some crushed tomatoes, a can of kidney beans, and some corn that I've drained and rinsed really well, some beef stock, a good lager. I'm using a Yingling. It's near to home, so that's my choice every time I need to use a lager. Then I have some spices here. I've got some chili powder, ground cumin, brown sugar, and if you can see it down there, I've got some some dried oregano, excuse me. And you'll need some garlic paste, not garlic paste, tomato paste, but this happens to be tomato and garlic paste, which I actually really like. I don't have any plain tomato paste, but nothing can go wrong with extra garlic. Trust me. You'll need salt and pepper and some vegetable oil, which I have heating up here in my big pot. I've got about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Now, this is going to serve a good 6 to 8 people. A nice little bowl of this, 6 to 8 people, you should do fine. A bigger bowl, 4 to 6 people, you should be in business. But you need to add a little bit of oil because the meat is it's much leaner than ground beef. You need a little bit of something to give it a bit more flavor. I've got that preheating over about medium-high heat, and I'm going to add my ground turkey, and I'm going to break this up with my wooden spoon as much as I can. Now, if you wanted to omit the oil, you could use a little bit of nonstick spray, but I do think that affects the flavor. And again, just a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil is going to feed quite a few people, so it's all good. I'm going to season my turkey with some salt and pepper. I want to season every layer of my dish, of course. Not too much salt because we are going to be seasoning this every time we add a new ingredient. So all I'm doing is breaking this up, and I'm going to let this cook until it's like halfway cooked through, I'd say. Turkey's coming along beautifully. You can see it's pretty much all the way cooked through. I'm adding my vegetables. This is like the base of any good chili in my opinion. Now traditionally you use a green bell pepper, but I don't like green bell peppers. I think that they are flavorless. I think that they are bitter, and they just do not come into my kitchen. I don't refuse a lot of things when it comes to the kitchen. Green bell peppers, I just don't see the need for them. It's just too bitter for me. They're not sweet. I like bell peppers because they give you a hint of sweetness, and that's why I always use red or yellow or orange or a mixture of both, but red is always my favorite. So, enough chit-chatting around. This has to cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, I'd say, or until the veggies have started to cook down a bit. If you feel like you need a bit more oil, you can go ahead and add that. I really don't think I need any more oil. I'm just going to let it go as is, and the vegetables. And when the vegetables are ready, I will show you what it looks like. Veggies have cooked down. You can see the sides of my pot has gotten those golden brown crispy bits. That is flavor, my friend, and that is something that is going to give this, whoa, there's a cap. That's what's going to give you another layer of flavor in this dish. I'm going to put in a good amount of my garlic and tomato paste. I'm actually just going to empty out the whole tube. I've got about, I'd say, a 1/4 cup left in there. Maybe a bit less than that, but it'll do. It's one less thing to put back in the fridge there. Just so you know, I make up names for pretty much anything I come across. I have to give it my own spin. That smells fantastic. I love that. Just give it a good second or so to kind of work it in there. And then we're going to add in the spices. This is what's going to give you the traditional chili flavor. I like to add just a touch of brown sugar to this, like a tablespoon really, because we're adding so much tomato product. I feel like the brown sugar and the bell pepper and the sweet onion, it just kind of offsets the acidity in the tomatoes. I think it works, so I'm going with it. It's what I always do in chili. And then I'm going to add in my beer. Not too much of it. I would say maybe half this. Look at that. Oh, and as soon as you get that in there, just start scraping. Look at that. See how it all comes off immediately? That is what you're looking for. And cook that for about a minute or so. That looks fantastic. You can see that I've scraped off a lot of those lovely brown bits. I'm telling you, that's gonna be phenomenal. Adding in my chopped up tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. Those were actually chopped canned tomatoes. They were not crushed. To me, however, some brands, when they say crushed, they literally mean like not even chopped. So it doesn't matter. You have to find whatever you prefer. Now to that, I'm gonna add some stock. I'm adding some beef stock to this. You could absolutely add vegetable stock, chicken stock, turkey stock if you can find it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of beef stock just because, again, I'm giving you that sort of rich, delicious chili we all know and love, but made just a little bit leaner. Give that a good stir in there, adding in my canned beans and corn. Now, sweet corn is something I started doing recently in my turkey chili, and I really have not been able to look back since, because it's just, again, with that sort of onion and bell pepper and brown sugar, the sweetness offsets the acidity of the tomato. So now that you have pretty much everything in there, give one last good seasoning with some salt and pepper, and then you're gonna let this cook, let it simmer for a couple of hours or until it's really lovely and thick, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. And that is about it. All I'm gonna do is partially cover this with my lid and let it go for a couple of hours on simmer. Chili's been cooking up for a couple of hours. I added just a little bit of cilantro in there, not too much because I like to add some at the very top. I'm just going to serve myself a little bit now so you can kind of see my favorite way to serve this, which is with lots of scallions on the very top, and then some fresh cilantro, a nice squeeze of lime, which I don't have a lime right here, but this is good. This is my favorite. I just love the freshness, and then I mix it all in, because then when the heat touches the scallions and the cilantro, it really brings it all to life, and I'm so excited. So now I'm just going to give this a taste. Look how thick and beautiful that is. Oh, it's hot though, so I'm going to have to wait a second. Hot. So good. That is like the perfect chili in my opinion. You will never know that it's turkey. It's so full-bodied. It's got so much flavor. The texture is incredible. I absolutely love it. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.